We're joined by Olivier Guitta. He's Managing Director of Global Strat. It's an international security consultancy firm. Thank you for being with us. And it was a pretty audacious attack in Raqqa, wasn't it? Because this complex was reportedly very heavily guarded. What does this tell us about ISIS and about their capacities right now?
Thank you for having me. Yes, we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, we warned about 2 years ago that ISIS in Syria was building its strength again. We called it ISIS 2.0, and it was just a matter of time until we saw something spectacular like we did, because there have been a lot of secret dormant cells around Raqqa and in Syria that we have been told about, and what's happening now is just, I think, the response to the overwhelming aggressive campaign that the US is leading against ISIS in Syria. In just the past 3 weeks, you had 10 operations led by the Americans to go after ISIS leadership in Syria, and so it's not by chance that you've seen this, as you said, very sophisticated and provocation from ISIS against the Kurds. What it means, it has a much larger geopolitical picture that you must think about, is the role of the US, but also the role of Turkey and what will happen with Turkey's possible invasion of northern Syria to go after the Kurds. It's interesting that Turkey and Syria met for the first time in a very long while again. So there are a lot of ramifications behind, but what we can say is that ISIS was far from being gone, and that the issue was pushed under the rug, and now the snake has come back, and it will have to be dealt with strongly on the military side.
Right, because one of the SDF commanders has warned that more attacks may be coming. Are the Kurds equipped to deal with a resurgent ISIS?
Look, we have to give it to the Kurds. I mean, they were able to sustain the attacks of ISIS at ISIS height. They were the ones that inflicted the first defeat in Kobani against ISIS. So yes, I trust very much the Kurds to be able to do that. But there needs to be help from the US, which I think is now coming. We've seen that with the recent military operations. But what worries me is what Erdogan and Turkey will do within the confine of the conflict, and that could change the cards, because if the Kurds have been able to restrain ISIS, if they have to fight against Turkish forces invading their lands, then it's another story, and it will open an avenue, if you will, for ISIS that the US will have to stop at any cost.
And of course, apart from causing havoc in the Middle East, ISIS also pulled off several terrorist attacks in Europe. Should the West be doing more to support the Kurds?
Yes, that's a given. I mean, it's mind-boggling that so far we have seen time and again in the Kurdish history that the West has just used the Kurds to help us, and then when it was time to help them, they were absent. So yes, very much so. I mean, it's we've seen across the platform, not just in Europe, but especially in Africa, ISIS has gained so much ground that they could be able, within the next few months, to possibly even create a new mini caliphate in Mali or in the Sahel. So yes, the Europeans need to get on board with the Americans as well.
Olivier Guitta at Global Strat, thank you very much indeed for sharing your expertise. We appreciate it.